Billy Ayers.
It's a gentleman named William Ayers. He was part of the Weather Underground in the 1970s. They bombed the Pentagon, the Capitol, and other buildings. He's never apologized for that. And in fact, on 9/11, he was quoted in the New York Times saying, "I don't regret setting bombs. I feel we didn't do enough."
I've chaired major philanthropic efforts in the city, like the Chicago Annenberg Challenge that gave $50 million to prompt school reform efforts.
One place their paths repeatedly crossed, according to a CNN review of board minutes and other records, was Chicago's Annenberg Challenge project.
This is a guy who lives in my neighborhood, who's a professor of English in Chicago.
Bill Ayers fought to bring the Annenberg grant to Chicago. Barack Obama was recruited as its chair.
Bill Ayers was a hero in the Hyde Park neighborhood of Chicago, where Barack Obama had lived for years. People admired his radical education philosophy, which said that teachers should bring politics into the classroom.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars to Bill Ayers' Small Schools project, promoting alternative education like the Peace School, with a curriculum centered around a United Nations theme.
Instead of giving money directly to schools, they gave money to what they called external partners. And these external partners were often pretty radical community organizer groups.
Who are we? ACON! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it now?
On his foundation service, Barack Obama, with Ayers, were sending money over to this organization called ACORN.
To get everybody in America registered to vote, especially in Florida and in Ohio.
ACORN is running a nationwide voter fraud operation. They faint and wring their hands and say they can't stop it. That's nonsense.
They all say the same thing, though. They all say the same thing. Like, would you sign for me? I'm just trying to hold on to this job. That's like the second thing they'll say before they ask me, am I registered? I'll be like, yeah, I'm registered. They'll be like, still signing.
A scheme that is set up that will pay people, poor people and ex-felons, X number of dollars for every voter registration that they receive.
ACORN's under fire over allegedly phony voter registration. We had close to 5,000 total from ACORN, and so far we have identified about 2,100.
So roughly half of them
are
bad.
Correct.
Of the 35,000 cards ACORN hand-delivered during its Get Out the Vote campaign, James characterizes 85% of them as trash.
The Obama campaign gave $800,000 to ACORN to help fund its primary registration drive.
He's not somebody who I exchange ideas from.
If I'm not mistaken, that Senator Obama served on a board with Mr. Ayers for a period of time, the Woods Foundation.
Barack Obama and Bill Ayers also served together on a second charitable foundation, the Woods Fund. Among its recipients, Jeremiah writes Trinity United Church, where Obama attended.
No, no, no. Not God bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible.
I've chaired major philanthropic efforts in the city.
This is a guy who I have not received some official endorsement from.
In 1995, months after the little-known Barack Obama became Annenberg Project chair, State Senator Alice Palmer introduced the young Obama as her political heir apparent. Where was that introduction made? At the home of the 60s radicals, Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dohrn. The Obama campaign again says it is just a coincidence.
A Democratic state senator organizes a meeting of her supporters at the house of another one of her supporters.
Former State Senator Alice Palmer says she in no way organized this meeting. She was invited and attended it briefly. And Dr. Quentin Young, a retired doctor, told us this indeed was Barack Obama's political coming out party, and it was hosted by Bill Ayers.
And if I'm not mistaken, that relationship with Mr. Ayers continued after 9/11 and after his reported comments, which were deeply hurtful. They were published on 9/11, and he said that he was just sorry they hadn't done more. And what they did was set bombs, and in some instances, people died.
This is a guy who engaged in some despicable acts.
Detestable acts.
His actions were despicable.
Detestable. Despicable acts 40 years ago.
40 years ago.
Over 40 years ago.
Things that happened in the 1960s.
When I was 8 years old.
When I was 8 years old.
When Barack Obama was 8 years old.
When Barack Obama was 7 years old.
Well, by the way, Barack Obama was 8 years old.
That spirit of rebellion, the spirit of resistance, the spirit of insurgency and spirit.
An acorn doesn't fall far from the tree.